The items you need is a hook, scissors, stitch markers, tape measure, and yarn. The yarn I'm using is Winter King 4-ply acrylic yarn. And this one right here is gray in color. So you're going to take your waist, bust, and hip measurements. These ones are in inches. The reason as to why you need those measurements is because this is a bodycon dress. So you need to have your bust measurement, your waist, and your hip measurement, because when it's just a straight dress, some areas will look so stretched. So that's why you need those measurements, because we'll start from the hip and then we'll do a decrease, then we'll do another increase when you're going towards the bust. And then yeah, that's the reason as to why we need these measurements. So first you're going to make a slip knot, and then you're going to create a foundation chain until you get your hip measurement. So as you can see here, my hip measurement is 34, so you're going to divide this by 2, which is 17. So you're going to make a foundation chain until you get to 17 inches. So I made a chain of 71. When you measure this is 16.5, and then when you stretch it, it gets to about 18.5. So that's just about right, because I also don't want it to be so stretched. So you make like 16 or 16.5, that when you stretch it a little bit, it can like be fit on your body. So when, let's say you have you need 14, you can make like 13 or 13.5. So you can go 1 or half an inch lower than your measurement. So I made a chain of 71. After that, now we're going to be making double crochets. So you're going to add 3 more chains, 1, 2, 3, and then from that you're going to make the first double crochet on the 4th chain. So yarn over, and then insert your hook, pull through 2, and then you're going to do double crochets until you get to the end of this chain. When you get to the last stitch, you're going to finish with a double crochet, and then you're going to chain 2. After that, you're going to turn your work, and then you're going to make the next double crochet in the next stitch. So as you can see, if you make that double crochet over here, you'll be doing an increase on this one. So make sure you do it over here. When you do it here, you'll have 2 stitches, because this chain 2, we consider it as a double crochet. So you're going to make it on top of the next stitch right here, like that. So you're going to begin our pattern. So we'll be having 2 double crochets, chain 1, skip 1, 2 double crochets, chain 1, skip 1. That is our pattern for this entire project. So we'll be doing that on the 2nd row. Then on the 3rd row we repeat this. So it will be alternating a row of double crochets and alternating a row of double crochets, skip 1, chain 1, skip 1, double crochet, chain 1, skip 1. So these are 2 double crochets, you chain 1, skip 1, and then you do another 2 double crochets, chain 1, skip 1, 2 double crochets in the next stitch, chain 1, you skip 1, and then 2 double crochets in the next 2 stitches, chain 1. So that is just it, 2 double crochets, chain 1, skip 1, like that. So you do that until the end of this row. So we're getting to the end of it, so we're going to do 2 double crochets, chain 1. So when you get to the end, and let's say like for me, you can see when I do a skip 1, I'll have 3 more instead of 2. So what you're going to do is you're going to connect the last 2 so that they can become 1. And even at a point where you have like 1 instead of 2, you can have 2 double crochets here and make it work for you. So it's not a matter for you to have the exact number, but you can just be creative about it and figure it out. So if you have one less, have 2 double crochets in the same stitch. If you have one more, make sure that the last 2 combine them to become one. So this is chain 1, skip 1, you're going to have 1 here, and then you're going to have 1, you're going to skip that one and then have 1 right here, and then you just come to the end of that, chain 2, and then now you're going to do a row of double crochets. So you're going to do double crochet on the next stitch like that. Remember, don't do it on top of this one, make sure they are in line, because chain 2 is also a stitch by itself, so a double crochet by itself. So chain 2, then a double crochet, so that you don't increase in your project. Then you're going to have a double crochet in that space, a double crochet on top, 2 double crochets on top of those 2 double crochets, then another one on that chain space, on top of that double crochet, on top of the other double crochet, and then on top of the chain space like that, till you get to the end of this row. And I think you've already gotten the grasp of what you're doing. I don't think I have to repeat it again, but this is just the pattern. Double crochet, the one, chain 2, 2 double crochet, chain 1, skip 1, 2 double crochet, chain 1, skip 1, and then you're going to do this until you get, alternate these rows until you get to the hip area. So let me show you from the diagram, although my diagram is not so neat because I'm not good at drawing, but then you just get what I'm saying. So you're going, because this is the lower part, this is where you started right here. So you're going to work it up until you get somewhere here around your hip bone, somewhere around here, around your hip bone, so that you can start increasing from here. So make sure you work all the way up until around your hip bone, and then from here we decrease. I'll let you know how many inches and how many rows I've done. So see you in a few. Just a little tip before I finish up. If you want to know you are in the right track, you see these lines, they should be in the same line. These spaces should be in the same line, like that. That's when you know you're in the right track. And then when you get to the end, if there's one on that side, you should also have like another one on this side. So when you're finishing up, make sure that right here you should have 2 double crochets, so that when you finish right here, you'll have to put the last double crochet right over here, so that you have 2 of them, and then you chain. So just to know you're on the right track, make sure everything is in line to make sure that you're on the right track. Yeah. So I did these are 50 rows. When you count the spaces, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. These are 25 spaces, so these are 50 rows. And if you take the measurements, this is 27.5 inches. So after this is where I'm now going to decrease, because I've gotten to the height I wanted. So this is from down to the hip bone. Yeah, so I'm going to decrease so that I can go to the waist, so that the waist can become a little slim within the waist and the tummy area. So the last row I did is the row of double crochets. So to decrease, you're first going to make the first 2 double crochets, whereby this chain 2 is the first one, and then you're going to make the second double crochet, but then you're going to chain 1 just as normal. But then we're going to reduce how many stitches are these? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These 5 stitches, so that you can have 2. So what you're going to do, because chain 1 covers this space right here, this double crochet right here, so these 3 double crochets are covered. So you're going to reduce these 2 to become 1. So you're going to make a double crochet, and then when you pass through 2, you don't finish, you leave it at that, and then you yarn over again, go to the next double crochet, yarn over. Then after you go through 2, you leave it at that. Then now you have 3 double crochets on your hook. you pass through all 3. That is how we decrease here. So we've made these 2 into 1, and then instead of chaining one, we're going to skip this chain 1 right here, and then you're going to reduce the next 2 stitches. So instead of chain 1, you're going to skip 1. Without chaining 1, you're going to skip 1, and then on the next one we're going to do that again to decrease. So you're going to pass through 2 and then go to the next one. We're only going to pass through 2, then you have 3 chains, pass through all 3. So as you can see, we've reduced all these 5 double crochets into 2, and then after that we're going to chain 1, and then you continue with the next. So after chain 1, you skip 1 and you continue with the pattern that you are using. Two double crochets, chain 1, skip 1, 2 double crochets, just as you are doing the pattern. So what you can see I've done here is I've made as you can see from the previous row, we had these 2 double crochet space, 2 double crochets, but then I've reduced this space so that it can become 1 space, so that we can decrease. So this is what we'll be doing in each and every row until we decrease, because my hip was 17 inches and my waist is 14, so I'm going to decrease until I get to 14 inches. I'm going to show you this again when I get to the end of this row. So when we have 8 stitches remaining, or when you look at the spaces, when you have 1, 2, 3 spaces remaining, that's when you're going to start to decrease. So after you do the last 2 double crochets, chain 1, whereby the chain 1 covers this, you skip this one because the chain 1 covers this stitch over here, so you have to skip. So you're going to start decreasing from here. So yarn over, insert hook, pull through 2, yarn over, insert hook, pull through 2, pull through all 3, and then you won't chain 1, but then you skip this one, and then you do it again. Yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, pull through all 3, and then now you chain 1, skip 1, and then you finish with 2 double crochets. And if you find this method of decreasing not easy for you, you can use any other method of decreasing. You can even decrease on the double crochets for as long as you're decreasing it. But then if you want to learn this method, this is it. So when you remain with like about 8 stitches, or when you have 3 spaces remaining at the end, that's when you're going to start decreasing. So you chain 1, you skip this one, and then you're going to decrease these 2 into 1. You skip this one, decrease these 2 into 1, and then chain 1, and then finish with the last 2 double crochets, and then you chain 2, and then on the row of double crochets, now you're not going to decrease anymore. On the row of double crochets, you're just going to work the double crochets without decreasing. So So as you can see, in the previous row, like here I had 1, 2, 3, 4, but now we have 1, 2, 3 spaces. So we are going to decrease the spaces as we go until we get to 14 inches. So if you haven't mastered the pattern of decreasing, you can go back and master it, and then I'll meet you when I've decreased up to 14 inches. So I started decreasing from this row. This is row 27. So this is where I started decreasing. So I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. I did 6 rows of decreases. So you do this row of decrease, this row without decrease, this row decrease, this row without decrease, and I did that 6 times. And then when I got here, I did 3 more rows without decrease. That's why here you can see it's going straight, because right here, these 3 rows, we did not do any decreases. So if you measure that, it's about 12. When you stretch it, it goes to 14. So I did this is about 13. It's 13 or 12, 13, so that when you put it on, it can stretch a little bit, so that it doesn't look so baggy. It can stretch a little bit. So I did up to 13 inches over here. So when it was when I was starting out, I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. I had 23 spaces. If you're using spaces, when I started out, I had 23 spaces, and right now I have 13 spaces. So when I was doing the bottom part, I had 23 spaces. Now I have 13 spaces. So if you're using that to measure, you can do that, but still remember, this was my measurement, so make sure you use your body measurements when making the dress. So right here, as you can see, I've added 9 more rows. So now that is 25 plus 9, that is 34. So I have a total of 34. So I'm going to do this again so that I have 2 panels in this. So to attach them together, you're going to do 2 single crochets in every space or in every row. Like in this row, you do 2 single crochets, 2 single crochets, 2 single crochets, like that in every row, until you get to the very end. So when you're done, you're going to turn it on the right side. And so now we are going to make the front part. So for most people, maybe you'll just do something straight like this, but then if you do it like straight, it won't look so neat, because it will come from here and then the back will be left hanging. So what I want to do, I want to start from somewhere here and then decrease to make a V. We start from somewhere here and then we decrease like this, and then now we make that front part. So what you're going to do, you're going to leave a few inches here, like 3 inches. So when you measure this part, it's 12 inches. When you minus 3, you'll make 9, so you're going to leave something like 4.5 on both sides. So when you see 4.5 is somewhere up to here. These are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spaces. Then on this side, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spaces. So here in between, you're going to leave 3 spaces. So from here, you're going to place stitch markers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then you place your stitch marker after the 2 double crochets on the last double crochet there. And then on this side again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. After the second double crochet there, on that second double crochet, you place your stitch marker there, and then you have these 3 spaces in the middle. So you're going to start from here, and then we decrease while going towards this side. So we're going to start, because the row that we did last was a row of double crochets, we're going to start the row of 2 double crochets and space. So we're going to start from this stitch marker, we go around, and then we come to this stitch marker, and we're going to be decreasing the same method I was using with the other one. So I'm going to remove that stitch marker and attach my yarn on that second double crochet over there, so that can be our chain 2. 1, we're going to chain 3 over there, so that chain is going to be our first double crochet, and then we make another double crochet on the next one. After that, you're going to chain 1, And because we are decreasing, we are going to decrease the same way we were decreasing the other time. So what we do, after chain 1 you skip 1, and then you're going to insert your hook, pull through, and then insert your hook, pull through again, and then pull through all 3, and then you're going to skip 1, and then also decrease this one again. So insert your hook, pull through 2, insert your hook, pull through 2, pull through all 3, chain 1, and then now we continue chain 1, skip 1. Now we continue the pattern of chain 1, skip 1, 2 double crochets. So you're going to do this until you're left with about 8 stitches before you get to this stitch marker. So right now I have about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 stitches remaining. And so if you want to know the number of stitches you should leave remaining is when you have these 3 sets. So you're going to reduce, decrease this one into 1, you skip the middle one, decrease this one into 1, then chain 1, and do the last 2. So just the same way that we decreased when we were doing the sides. So we've already chained 1, skip 1, and now we are decreasing. So and again, pull through all 3, and then you skip 1, you do it again, pull through all 3, and then now you chain 1, and then on the last 2 you're going to do 2 double crochets, 2 double crochets on the last 2, and then you chain 2, and then you turn your work and you do a row of double crochets, and you do a row of double crochets without any decrease or increase. So with the row of, after you turn your work, on the next stitch you do a double crochet, on the next stitch a double crochet, like that until you get to the end. You can see where we did the decreases. Now we have only 2 double crochets on the 2 decreases, 1 here and 1 here. So I'll meet you when I'm almost at the end here. Now when you get to the last 5 stitches, the one that we did 2 decreases, then a space, and the other 2 double crochets. So when you get there, you're gonna have 1 double crochet on top of that first decrease, and 1 double crochet on top of that other decrease, 1 double crochet in the space, 1 double crochet on top of that double crochet, and then 1 double crochet on top of chain 2, and then you chain 2 again, and then you do another decrease. You turn your work and do another decrease. So we start with a double crochet, chain 1, and then you skip 1, and then you do the decrease. So you're going to insert, pull, insert, pull through 3, and then you skip 1, and then again on the next chain insert, pull through 2, pull through 3, and then you chain 1 and continue with the pattern. And then you're going to do the same thing at the end, and then you're going to continue like this until we are able to get to almost where the side is. This is where the side is, so we are almost there until we're able to get somewhere here. And so I did 8 decreases, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. In total these are 16 rows. I did 8 decreases. So I was doing a decrease in every row of spaces, then no decrease in the double crochet rows until I get here. And then on the ends right here I did a chain of 150, and then also on the other side I did a chain of 150. These are going to act as the straps. So I'm going to try and crisscross them like this and then tie them somewhere here, so we can do that.
If you're an artist and you see this, you have to share a finished piece. It's Finished Work Friday. Here's mine.